How you going, everyone? Back again. Today I wanted to show you what I do when I'm selling a device, any device, doesn't matter what device. I'm going to show you a laptop that I've got there. I actually listed it today. I was hoping it would sell today and make a great story, but you know, this is life in general, isn't it? So what I've got, I'll put some pictures up of the laptop, and I'm going to screen video what I'm doing on here. So basically, if I go to eBay and I type in, so it's a Lenovo T14, but it's got a Ryzen, and it's a Gen 1 as well. Gen 1 Ryzen. So then this should bring up a selection of what's available. So we really, when you're pricing up stuff, you really want to be as accurate as possible. One, I would say try and find ones. Sometimes you're not going to be able to because they're just not available in your area, but try and keep it to the country you're in, and then keep it to the model. So on this one, it's a Gen 1 14-inch. It's got the Ryzen and it's got the 4650U. So what's on the screen now, I would try and stick to that. Now, the one I got in had 8 gig of RAM, and it does have an empty slot. So the 8 gigs on board, and then it had an empty slot for whatever, you know, I don't know what they limited on. I'd say probably a 32 gig if you wanted to add 32. I doubt they'd take a 64, but I don't even know if they made 64 for laptop RAM for sodium, but who knows. Well, I'm sure someone knows. I haven't looked, so I couldn't tell you. But so I chucked a 8 gig, gave a 16 gig. I have got drives there. I could have made it, it's a 256, I could have made it a 512, but it's got a couple of issues with it, so I don't really want to go overboard with it and just throw money at it for no reason. So good example, this one here, $495 for a 16 gig 512 SSD, and then we go, this one's actually a later model one. This is the 5650 CPU, same thing, 16 512, and then we've got this one's got 32 gig. It's a touch as well, so maybe on the touchscreen models they actually had, because they're not, the one I've got isn't touchscreen, so maybe on the touchscreen models they actually ran actually it's a second gen on that one. Oh no, yeah, first gen here, 14. It's got the same CPU, just 32 gig of RAM, but it's a touch. There you go. So they must have different models with touches. So the 32 would be that it had 16 on board, and then someone's added 16 gig. So because there's no other way to get 32. There's no 24 gig sticks of RAM, so they'd have to go straight from if they had 16, yes, 16 and 8. So you could put another 16 in there, so they only bring up to 24. So yeah, there's no real configuration that would work to give you 32. So they must have had 16 on board to start with, and then it could have had 32 on board for all I know. I don't know the specs that they come out with. A lot of these come out with multiple different specs, so it's hard to know. So then a good way to double check on pricing is go straight to sold items, and then this will give you an honesty check on. So it's good to look at what's available, but you also need to see what sort of pricing they're getting in the current market. Now, there's no guarantees that one's going to match the other, but at least it gives you, it's a guide. Don't ever use this as gospel, because there's no such thing, especially if you're selling stuff that doesn't have a lot of resale value, a lot of resale details. Like there's not a lot that have been sold, you know, one-offs and stuff like that, or stuff that's really exclusive, very hard to find pricing. Sometimes you just have to make it up as you go. So here, so we can see this is the exact specs I have currently. So it's a Ryzen 5 4650 with the 16 gig and the 256. So you can see there around the $400 mark they're going for, which I'm quite happy with that. This one came in a batch of stuff, which owes me like $100. So whatever I get for it, I'm going to make money on it. So now you do this, and then there's another part to this you've got to do. So, which is a part that I'm kind of struggling with at the moment, because if we go clear that, no, I closed it. I didn't clear it. I closed it. So let's open it up again, and then we'll clear that, and then we'll go. So if I sold this laptop for $429, I'm going to pay around about, I'm going to say around 20% in fees by the time I do eBay fees, do your promotion. I've got promotions on up to 5%. So I'm going to allow for 20%. Now you can go lower, but I think the eBay fees are 13%, plus there's a transaction fee and there might be some other stuff, I don't know. Plus, if you have a look here, they're giving the postage away. That's another $30 as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say 429. Oh, no, not 4,000. I'm going to go clear 429 times. Even if you said you weren't doing promoted, and let's go 15%, just to give a little bit of, you know, there is other fees now. I just can't remember exactly what it is. 15%. So $65 it's going to cost you at 429, plus it's going to cost you, this is Australian prices, I don't know what it's like overseas, it'll cost you around about $30 to ship it. So about $95, around 100, let's say around $100. So you take that off the price, it's $330. So this is where it becomes hard, because like I've actually done really well on Facebook. Now, yes, it's interaction, yes, you get a lot of silly messages and all that, but I can sell that laptop at $350. They turn up at the door, they give me cash or transfer money into the account, and the deal's done, the sale's done. Yes, they can have issues and they can come back and ask for their money back or whatever. Touch wood, I've had a good run, and I've had, I think, 2 laptops that they've had issues with. Apart from that, everything's been fine. And I had some wholesale laptops that I got back as well, but they had actual issues with them that I just missed. So yeah, you can get stuff back, but as long as you're fair with people, most people are going to be pretty good. So what I did was I took that laptop and I went, you know what, this is I'm going to have to open a different screen. So here's the listing for the laptop I've put on Facebook. Look, it's a good little laptop. It's perfect for someone that wants to do like a kid that wants to do Roblox and schoolwork and that sort of thing, and possibly use, there might be some other games you can play on it. I haven't checked the specs out on this particular model, but there'd be limitations, because even though it says it's got a Radeon GPU, I think it's a semi-integrated one. Verizon likes to do that, but once again, I've never really explored their range. I've never been a big fan of Verizon Mobile, but they might be good now. I don't know if anybody's got one or had one or knows of them. Feel free to leave a comment, because I really don't know much about them at all. So I'm going to go with this on this, and so this is where it comes to the problem of I think you got to pick your audience on this stuff. You can't just go like I could just list everything on eBay and it would sell and whatever, but then I've got to take into account, can I build a customer base, which I'm building a customer base locally for this sort of stuff, where, you know, they can tell their friends and family that, you know, that they know somebody that sells this sort of stuff. And yes, it's half foot in, half foot out, so I'm still fighting with it myself, don't worry, as I've professed on here about having customers. But at the end of the day, why not? If I can do it, why not? So it's a little bit different for me than other people, because I work from home every day. I've got a tech room. It's not part of the house, it's separate. So I do have some advantages that others might not have. But if you have got those advantages, or if you're willing to have people in your house, then that's a different story. So these are the things you battle with on this stuff. And like I say, you work out what you can sell, and you could always put this down a wholesale route too. I had a discussion with somebody the other day on wholesale, and like I bought a laptop for $800. If you're going to sell it on eBay, you could probably sell it for $1,000, maybe $1,100. By the time you do your fees and transport and take the risk and all that, he probably would have got the same money as what he got it off me anyway. And then he does other stuff, wholesale clothing and stuff like that. And when we actually work the numbers out, it doesn't actually work out as bad as a lot of people would think. So because you haven't got those fees and charges at eBay, and the shipping is bulked because you're selling multiples, and so a lot of the stuff, the ratio actually works out quite good doing it wholesale, Facebook, or there's other platforms like you can do market stalls and stuff like that. look at some of the people that sell clothing in markets, they sell heaps of them. Probably not tech. I don't really see anybody down there selling laptops and stuff, or maybe gaming consoles. You see gaming people down there doing gaming stuff and tools and equipment like that. So yeah, so there's other avenues. I guess the thing you got to look at. So the one thing I've noticed is on Facebook is high-end laptops are very hard to sell. If you're going to sell something, it has to be cheap. So you can't go in there and look at somewhere like eBay and say it's that laptop is $429 on eBay, so I want $429 on Facebook. It doesn't work that way with Facebook. You may get lucky on a couple of them, but you're not going to get it. From what I've seen, the numbers just aren't there. But cash in hand or instant payment, pick it up. If there's a problem, you've kind of had a human interaction with them, so you'd like to think it's not going to be as drastic as just someone being able to blast an email or just put it back in a box and send it back to you, because they can do that when it comes to eBay. And not bagging eBay out either, because at the end of the day, it's the same thing. You've got that email separation from everybody, so you get that pleasure of being able to just list it. If they've got any questions or any problems, they email you or they email eBay, and it's all third of hand sort of thing, third party. You don't really have to worry about that interaction. So it really comes down to your own heart, to choose your own hard sort of thing. And I look, I'm only been back and doing it this way for the last 6 weeks, 8 weeks. So I'm not professing that I know everything on this. This is just the touchy-feely that I'm getting from what I'm doing in here. And I'm actually quite liking the way I'm doing it in here. And I'm hoping that, as much as I don't like the whole customer thing, over time, if I do a really good job and I look after these people, then the next child and the next child and the friend and then slowly your name gets out. Before you know it, you actually have a lot of people coming to you for stuff. Hey, when one comes available, let me know, and you sell the stuff before it even turns up at the door. So some food for thought. Really love someone's comments that does buy and sell stuff, and if they've experienced both worlds. And then you've also got another one which is Whatnot. Definitely not, I don't think, for this stuff, but depending on what you're doing, clothing, collectibles, that sort of stuff, I think it's perfect place for that sort of stuff. So you've got multiple different avenues now of being able to sell in Australia, in America, and the UK. You obviously have a lot more. Other places in the world, I'm not sure, but in particular Australia, it really is eBay, Facebook, and then if you're really desperate, Gumtree. So you have to be pretty desperate. That's a whole other crowd over there. So yeah, going to end the video here. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow. And I'll throw a board repair. No, not a board repair, but I'll throw a couple of repairs in tomorrow, make it kind of balance it out, a little bit of conversational and a little bit of board stuff. See you tomorrow. Have a great night, great day, great afternoon, and everything else.